I think, yes, we are starting. We had some technical difficulties, but we are here with Shauna. Shauna, thank you so much. We're so happy you are here with us, that you could join us. You're so inspirational to so many people. So, first of all, tell us about yourself, about your family, and what you do for a living.
Yeah, so I have been in the special events hospitality industry for almost 30 years. So my whole world is helping others and helping them with the biggest days of their life. I have definitely been in the I guess a gym person, fitness, fun person for my whole life. And But food was definitely, I'm a foodie, we love catering, we love different foods, and that was definitely the trump for me, right, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. So walk us through kind of what made you join the midlife makeover program. Like what was the catalyst for that?
Yeah, so I lived in Colombia for over 20 years and with my daughter, and it was the best place to raise her. And then between her dad and I, her dad was ill, and um, and then with the pandemic, being cooped up together, the gym's closing, you slowly start to lose your norm, and your day-to-day life changes dramatically. And you don't really notice it, little by little. I remember, you just don't think about it. So, COVID, you start eating a little differently, not working out the same way you were, and kind of focusing on everything else. Our industry as a whole was collapsing. No one was working, there was no events. I was going through a separation and divorce. My daughter was struggling, and that's kind of where my focus was. And then I moved to Rockville in with my boyfriend, I guess 3, 4 years ago. And all of a sudden I looked in the mirror and I wasn't me anymore. I was, 30, 40 pounds overweight. Um, I felt like I was still doing the same things, but obviously I wasn't, and I wasn't doing something right. I was getting frustrated. I was unhappy. I didn't feel good. Then the premenopausal symptoms started, and I just knew I needed to make a change. And I had been following you. I've been watching. I know you were big in the Columbia community, so I knew a lot of mutual friends, but I specifically was following a friend and just kind of watching. And then actually it was a trip that my boyfriend and I took to Costa Rica in February of this past year. And I looked at a picture of myself and I said, oh no, this is not good. And I didn't feel good. I just didn't feel like myself and I wasn't happy. So that's when I reached out to you and say la vie.
I love it. I love it. And you have done so well. So for every comment that we get here, we're gonna give you $1 towards your favorite store. So leave her some love and leave Shauna some comments. So I want you to be honest with us. In the beginning, what were you like? Did you have any doubts? Did you have any fears? Did they creep in? Like what were you skeptical about?
Yeah, I think most people think they know how to do it. Working out was never my problem. I loved it. But tracking food, it was scary. I never done that before. I never wanted to do that before. The other things in my life that I done, I think because I was working out so much and training for certain things, I was able to eat more of what I wanted, 10 years ago. And that was scary. That was scary. I also was more of a gym person. I always went to the gym. It was scary to me to work in my home. I didn't want to do it. I never thought I could do it, and it was like, I had this wall up against, like, that's not me. I can't do that. And it was scary. It was a little kind of information overload.
And I love that. I love your honesty. So, all right, let's get to the fun part. So, what are your biggest wins since you started our program?
My biggest wins is I fit into the jeans that I did before. I'm fitting into the clothes that I did before. Your body definitely is different than you were, in your 20s and your 30s, whether you've lost the weight or gained the weight, it's just different. So you have to love yourself. You definitely have to love yourself and understand that that's going to happen. My wins is I realize that I can eat what I want. Um, you know, there's no good foods or bad foods. I realized my win is learning how to eat for fat loss and not for healthy. Everyone thinks I ate healthy, right? I ate a lot of healthy. And then now I look at food totally different, and I think that's
Yeah.
a huge win. I can go into a place and realize, no, that's not going to serve me. But then, oh my God, my win is I can have that cheeseburger instead of that big salad, and I can actually lose weight because of that. So that was a huge, huge thing for me. And I feel strong again. For me, when I first started the program, again, fitness was a big part of my life. So when I realized I couldn't do a plank for 30 seconds, I was struggling. I just realized that this is a problem. And now I can do a minute without even taking a breath. So that was a huge win for me, that I feel like I'm getting my life back again.
I love that. And talk to us about your mindset. Like when you talked about like foods and being able to eat what you want, how has that changed? How's your mindset changed?
Yeah. Your mindset changes because, of the mindset of healthy versus the way we should be eating in our 40s and being a woman. I didn't know that I should be eating differently. I thought I was eating the right way. Um, you know, it's it's just the program has taught me so much about, I didn't realize that healthy salad I was eating was like 1,500 calories. So, um, you know, um, it, tell me again what you, I lost
I
my.
was asking about your mindset.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a matter of, writing it down and writing my goals down and really visualizing it. And it is something that in other programs that I've learned that it is important to, say 10 things that you're grateful for in the morning, how your day is going to be. But looking at your goals and writing it down and making yourself accountable for it, and honestly, having you guys being accountable to me, knowing that you guys were watching for me was huge. It was my mindset, like they're watching. I have to do this. I have to make them right. And I have to prove to myself it's right. So you definitely have to be in the right mindset. You have to want to do it. You have to love yourself. And, um, you got to put the work in. And I think you got to be engaged in the program. You can't do this by yourself. I've realized doing it yourself is really hard. So, creating that mindset that we're a community and of women who are all in the same boat, with different goals, but the path is the same, right?
I love that. I love that because I love our community so much. Um, have you had like past experiences where you trying to lose weight? And
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And a lot of the past experience that I've had, I've been able to incorporate into this lifestyle. There's a lot of products that I've used in the past that I still use today that I love. A lot of it is high protein, focusing on protein and kind of the macros that I didn't do before. Now, I build everything around protein, even though before, I was, it was very limiting. I had to eat certain things or I couldn't eat certain things. And to me, that's just not sustainable. Um, so that was the closest, the last program that I did, who I love. I love the program, I love the people, I love the products, but it just wasn't something that I could continue for my life that way. It just wouldn't work for me. This is something that I feel like it's not what do they say, you can't run out of bad diet, and um, you know, it is true. Working out is 10 to 20% of the big picture. So, I felt like I was a rat just running, I couldn't get off this life of, cardio. So, yeah.
is very common. That is very common with the women that we work with, and just women in general. They just feel like they're constantly on a yo-yo, like in a hamster wheel. Um, were there any foods that we told you like you cannot have, you cannot eat ever?
No, definitely not. And I thought it was inspiring, even like on Halloween, even though I'm not a huge sweet person, it's just not my my fix. It was just refreshing to know, eat a few bars, eat your little, few bars of candy. It's okay, because that's life, right? Life is not eating the same all the time. Life is not eating no carbs. Life is not eating, I can't live without eating pizza and cheeseburgers, not all the time. But when I want to, we travel a lot, it's hard to be so structured. And I also didn't want, how do I say this? I didn't want to be that person that everybody doesn't want to be around because, because I can only eat that and I can't eat this, so I can't go there. I didn't want it to affect my life or the people around me. I wanted to be able to live and eating all that I want to eat, most of the time, I stay on a structure, but I can still incorporate those foods regularly, right? So
Yeah, so I love traveling. I'm like a chocoholic, but so you travel a lot. So you and your fiance, so you guys travel a lot. That's like part of your lifestyle. So how did you incorporate? Were you able to incorporate, this because it is a lifestyle, right? And you're so successful. So can you just tell us a little bit about that?
yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is protein. I start with protein and I build around that. When I go on vacation, as you know, I don't track all the time. I track most of the time. So like 80% of my life, I track my food. When I go away or when you go out, you don't always know what's in there. I try to go simple and build around that. Less ingredients is better, which actually makes it easier because less is better. I am, I think some people are afraid to ask, at a restaurant or a place, to, tell them what you want, to ask them what's in it. A lot of places that have, but again, everyone has protein. So, that is how I build with vegetables, and I can have carbs. So I always do low carb because that's just, it works for me. But that was the best way to, that I can go away is build around protein and always have protein bar with me. I always have something with me, whether it being some type of protein bar, some type of protein snack, whether it being Quest chips. I always have something. So if I'm hungry, I eat, because if I don't, then I will eat something that I shouldn't eat. Or if I'm hangry, as they say, I'll just everything, right? And that's never good.
I love that. So, um, you talked a lot about like not, how the challenge of doing this on your own. Tell us about the coaching experience.
Yeah, I mean, one, I think it was important, at least for women. I think women understand women better. Women and men are totally different. Our bodies are different. We grow differently. Everything about it is different. So having women as coaches, I think, was really important to me. And you guys are always there, always. If we have a question, you guys are there. If we have an injury, you make it your business to make sure you talk to us versus running from it. You are always there. You always cheer us on. It was, and again, you guys, knowing that you guys are always watching was very important to me, because then in my mindset, I knew that you guys were watching, and I wanted to make you guys proud. I wanted to do this, and having you guys proud of us, and also never, what's the word? You guys, some of it is tough love. It's like toughen up, buttercup. This is the way it is, you don't want to do it. And you also didn't make us feel there was no race, right? There's no race to the finish line. This is our life. And the way to keep this off, when I say sustainable, is just to keep going. Progress over perfection, as you always tell us. It's, today is better than it was yesterday. And if it wasn't a good day, you just keep going, you know, you never stop. And I think your guys' way of coaching was so, it's just, it's really, it's wonderful. You guys were always there for us. And I think all of us would agree that we couldn't do it without you or Sarah.
Well, I am so humble. Like I'm so honored to serve you guys. And I going back to like the original uncertainties and your original fears, how the experience kind of help you overcome those fears.
Um, I think knowing it's not a race, knowing that I finally found something that I think I can sustain, because every day is not perfect, and I don't want every day to be perfect. I want to eat on Thanksgiving. I don't want to have to worry about it. Sometimes, I know a lot of people call it a diet, which I had to get over in my mind. People call everything a diet. It's my diet. It's whatever someone else's diet is. But to me, it's a lifestyle. I'm going to eat on Thanksgiving. I'm going to, if we go to brunch, I'm going to have a bagel.
Yeah.
I want to eat those things when I can, not all the time, obviously. But it's just, it's really, it's a refreshing way to think that, um, we can, we're not stuck in, the excuse of, going into menopause, or the excuse of, it's not going to work anymore because that's the way my body is. And the doctors tell you, oh, this is the way it is. Your body's, you're almost 50, get over it. Love your body the way it is. Well, that's not okay. It's not enough, and I think that was one of the other reasons that I finally made the phone calls, because that answer was not enough for me. Um, I mean, I watch people on your program in their 60s and later who, are having the same results, right? They're past menopause, right? So I knew that that was not the case. So, yeah.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because as I don't know if people know this, my sister's a doctor. Doctors don't take nutrition. They don't take anything preventative. They take, they're here to help after. So what would you say to a woman who is just she thinks her body is broken? What advice would you give her? Because we've all been there, right?
Yeah, well, your body is not broken. And there's no magic pill either. We're in a society right now that, a lot of people are going toward other sources with doctors and shots and all sorts of ways to take off weight that do work. But what happens after? What happens when you get back to life? And what happens when you don't have something that doesn't make you hungry? That's not sustainable. But we're not broken. It can be done. And you don't have to be in the gym 2 hours, or running 10 miles, or, working on, lifting as hard as you can for 5 days a week. It doesn't have to be that way. And you can eat pizza and cheeseburgers, right? So not every day, but, you can
Right.
eat. And it's not, I never want to tell somebody that, that it was easy in the beginning. No, it wasn't easy, it was, but you have to make a commitment. You have to really want to do it and love yourself, and not listen to everybody else. Everybody else has an opinion. Men think that we can do it the same way as they can, which is completely not the case. They think about losing weight and half the time they can. Uh, we I gain weight from watching them eat.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
So we're not broken. And I think there's a good combination, especially with menopause, how to find the medium for both. Because I'm sure some people need a little bit more help than others. With my symptoms just started, so I have just started getting into it. So I'm sure I have a lot left to go through, but now I feel like I have the foundation to move forward. I was overwhelmed in the beginning. You remember that? It was a lot of information. I had to kind of figure things out. I had to, kind of figure through, logging into my fitness pal, and, how that all worked out. And I know everyone's struggle is different, water and drinking water. I remember my other programs, that I work with people is the biggest thing is I can't drink water. Okay, well, you have to.
Mhm.
Stick some lemon in there, do whatever you need to do, but you have to do it. And I think once you get over the excuses and just let yourself actually listen and do what you tell us to do, it will work.
I love that. I love everything you're saying. The part about like men, like they like stop drinking beer and soda for 3 weeks and lose 10 pounds. So getting advice from your husbands are great and they're super supportive and boyfriends and whoever, but like they are not physiologically the same. They don't have the same minds. They don't think the same way we do. So I want to ask you about the investment. So many women, they are afraid of investing in themselves, either because they spent so much money in other programs or they don't think they're worth it. I get on the call with so many women and they're like, well, it's just like if it was for somebody else, what would you say to a woman who's considering joining our program, but she's afraid of the investment?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're just investing in yourself. And if you don't invest in yourself, you're going to spend a lot more money in medical issues and problems and, other things. Invest in yourself, I think it's a priceless amount of money to invest in yourself to make you feel better. Taylor and I were last time we were at the airport together. I remember making a comment to her that, the McDonald's line was like, 100 deep, and the Nally Fresh line, there was nobody there, and it just tells you the mindset of most people. They want a quick fix, or it's a cheaper solution and they're hungry. Taking care of yourself and being healthy is not inexpensive. Whether you do a program, whether you're just eating right, whether you're eating healthy, it's just not. But I think, if you do a program that's right, I don't think any program is inexpensive if it's the right program, but there's always a way. You do a little bit less, and prioritizing where you spend your money. I think anyone can do it if you prioritize where you spend your money, and this is a very small part of the big picture, right? So you're not gonna be doing a program. You give us the ways to start to live our life. So after you do the program, and if you choose to continue, at some point you're going to be on your own, and you're going to use the things that you taught us to continue that, and then it's up to you to continue. But it's still not inexpensive. It's being healthy, but the alternative is spending a lot more money being sick later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and how would you say that going and being a part of this experience has changed your life and how going now and into your future?
Yeah, I just feel better. We were talking the other day, and when I was in, pre the pandemic, I was in the best shape of my life, and I felt good to walk into a room. And the sad thing about it is people treat you different. People treat you different post that, when I put on this weight, um, people treat you different. And whether it's right or wrong, it's shitty.
Yeah.
It is, and people say, "Oh, you shouldn't care what people think." Well, that's not realistic. People are gonna, you care how people treat you. And I don't believe people go do it purposely. I think some of it is subconsciously. But you want to walk into a room and feel good about yourself and feel confident. And when you are confident, people are attracted to you because of that. So I don't think it's always the weight. It's more of you're not confident in yourself anymore. So I think it affects your whole life. It affects your job. It affects the way you are your kids. I know my daughter is so proud of me. She, every pound I lose, she's like, yes, you're one more pound away. You're one more pound from your goal. And it's just it's really life changing. I just feel so much better. I feel better. I don't feel as heavy. My joints don't hurt as much. Um, it's and people, and I've had several guys, actually funny, several guys have asked me, what are you doing? Can I do it? I said, I'm sorry, you're not over 40 and you don't have a vagina. So, but, it was a really good feeling to know that, my feelings were valid. They were not wrong. But it was just, you guys taught us, you teach a different perspective on how to live your life.
I am so appreciative of you for sharing this with everyone. Just so everyone who is watching, please give Shana some love. She is just an amazing, amazing human, as you can probably tell. And by the way, if you want some one-on-one support to work with myself and Sarah, we are currently running the biggest sale that we have ever run, ever, our Black Friday special, where you can get 6 months free working with us, plus a ton of bonuses. So if you're interested or have ever thought about working with us, now is the best time, honestly, to sign up. So you can comment Black Friday here. We'll probably put a link to book a call with us. Spots are filling up though. We can only take so many people right now. So let us know. You can comment Black Friday, and I'll also send a link. Shana, thank you so much for inspiring and empowering so many people. And we love you. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.
Bye, Shana.
Bye.